Okay, hello, Kourosh.
Hello.
How was your day, Kourosh?
Uh, it was pretty good. Um,
What
how
was
how was your day?
My day was all right. What was good about your day, Kourosh?
Uh, Not much really happened. Um, uh, um, well, Google was down.
Yeah, I heard about that. What actually happened? I was in
So
school.
the Google's account services went down, which meant if you were trying to use any Google services whilst logged into an account, you couldn't. If you
Hmm.
were logged out, then it would all work. So it was like incognito mode worked. Everything it all worked. It was just the account services didn't work,
Okay,
which meant you couldn't get mail and stuff. You couldn't get watch YouTube on your Google account.
that's odd,
But
man.
yeah, but apparently it's fixed now. Hmm. But yeah, I you missed out on that then, did you?
Yeah, I was in school.
Uh,
I was just doing my further maths homework in maths.
oh, fair enough.
Um, Kourosh, were you affected much by Google being down?
I was not actually because I've migrated a lot of my work and school stuff. Well, I've not migrated it per se, but I've made it so that I don't need Google. I don't have a single point of failure. It's now 2 points of failure. So I now use Microsoft a lot more as well. So if Microsoft and Google went down, then it'd be problematic. Um, but I actually use Bing a lot. So
Okay. Um,
yeah.
right. That's actually probably a good starting point because that's reminded me of something. So,
Okay.
often I think it's just the type of person I am. It's very gratifying to get a system, and
Hmm.
systems are cool, Um,
Yeah.
but I find really whenever I make a system, it's harder to maintain in the long term, and really what ends up sticking through is just I don't know, kind of the natural osmosis of whatever works out.
Entropy.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
You can relate, Kourosh, can
I
you?
can relate. Yes.
Do you
But,
find it annoying at all?
I think it depends on the system.
Mm.
Um, so if we're talking about, say, like a programming project sort of thing,
Mm.
um, the larger the project gets, the more difficult it is for me to control what's happening, sort of
Yeah.
precisely. And I think that's probably the scenario you're talking about or referring to. Um, in that case, it's not very helpful
Yeah,
because obviously you lose track of everything.
I've definitely noticed that in programming, especially. It's very easy to introduce hundreds of layers of abstraction, but
Yeah.
in a way,
Um,
I suppose it is.
well,
Is that a problem with abstraction itself? I don't know.
um, not sure actually. I mean, I guess you could argue it is.
I think the entropy thing you mentioned though is probably the crux of it.
Yeah, because obviously everything it follows entropy. So if in any situation you're going to have something go down that path anyway. So I mean, it kind of just happens.
Mm.
But yeah,
Are you
so
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just going to say in there are some cases where I actually find it useful. I mean, when I'm writing music,
Hmm.
um, if you think about music as a system, I'm writing something, say for like an orchestra or something like that.
Okay.
Um, then if I add too much, then it can sometimes lead me to have other ideas or things. So in that way, it can be kind of beneficial. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That
yeah,
reminds me of something my uncle said once was that working at the place he works at the moment, it's an absolute massive bureaucracy and difficult to get absolutely anything done, but it's taught him a lot more than he's learned at any other job.
Yeah, well, I guess if you have the you have the systems in place to deal with that sort of thing, then it's useful, because then people can teach you how to deal with those systems anyway. So I guess, yeah.
I don't quite understand what you mean. Can you elaborate?
So I think obviously people sometimes look on bureaucracy as like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes in large systems, you're going to need that bureaucracy, because you're going to need some sort of level of control. Having that bureaucracy in place can sometimes, in my opinion anyway, give you the resources to teach other people to understand a system by ignoring the bureaucracy, sort of thing. So if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
I think so. Just give me 1 second. Hello?
Yeah, hi, hello.
I'm not sure if this is exactly what you're saying, but the thought I've always what I've always thought about that is that it's although it's less healthy, I think humans are generally more productive in high stress. And I think the stress of, not exactly stress, but the pressure of bureaucracy maybe is definitely a driving force. Is that what you're saying, or am I not quite understanding you?
Yeah, that is a way you could definitely say it. Yeah. I would say that's part of it. The other part of it being that having bureaucracy allows you to allocate resources to different parts of a project.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So it's kind of like a project control sort of thing, if you kind of get what I'm saying. In my opinion anyway, having a bureaucracy is kind of acts like a resource management system kind of thing. So obviously you can allocate resources in different locations, and sometimes it slows things down. Yeah. I mean, the larger a project or a company, the slower it's going to be, kind of thing, like because of the bureaucracy. But again, it allows you to see where you need resources to go and allocate resources to that. So it's kind of, it can be beneficial in some ways and also a drawback in other ways.
Yeah, where would you stand on the whole? Like, if you were given if you had to structure a company from the ground up, where would you go? Would you swing more bureaucratic or more? I don't know. What's the opposite actually? That's a good question.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm thinking
the opposite of bureaucracy?
Things like, at least in the software world, things like, say, agile methodologies are probably
yeah, agile is definitely. That. Well, the direct opposite is adhocracy, which is a flexible, adaptable, and informal form of organization that is defined by a lack of formal structure that employs specialized, multidisciplinary teams grouped by functions. Okay, that's interesting.
Kourosh.
It was Bing, but.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand what you mean. It's, but yeah. So if I was structuring a company from the ground up, let's see. I'd say it's probably beneficial to be not exactly half and half, but like. I'm going to talk about it with respects to how they do it at Bloomberg, I think, because that's actually, I think that actually seems like quite a good way of having something, having like the structure. Yeah, so you have like, you'll have teams of people, and each team controls an individual part of the software. So I'm sure you know that the product that Bloomberg creates is the terminal.
I don't actually.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. The Bloomberg terminal is essentially this sort of this piece of trading software that gives you news, sort of thing, like trading. I think it's the largest privately owned network on the planet because of the way it works. Don't quote me on that because I might be wrong, but it's something like that. But essentially, what happens is you have teams of 5 to 8 people, and they all sort of work on one very specific part of the terminal, in a sense, or the project, which means that within those groups they can be very agile. They can go through lots of multiple iterations before they push a new version of that project to being live to the actual product. And then these 6 team members will have a team leader. Obviously, they'll go to their team leader, and those team leaders will also have another team leader, so like someone they will also report to, kind of thing. So at the very area where it's sort of product controlled, where the people have the ability to interact with the product, and each of the team members has to work together to build this, essentially the part of the product they're working on. It's very agile. Like, they can go through multiple iterations because they work with each other and also know, right, this isn't going to work, let's try it this way, without having to go to a team leader and say, this isn't going to work, let's do it this way, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like the aim they have is to get the job done, sort of thing. So yeah.
So the thing I'm immediately wondering is, at the crux of that system, there's kind of, in my mind, there's the scale at which you want to divide the product into different components for the teams to work on. Does that make sense? So where is that level drawn? Because the thing that I'm thinking is, probably the most difficult part about that is the interoperability between different parts of the product is going to force interoperability between different parts of the team. So firstly, where is that line drawn? Do you know, in the scale of?
In terms of Bloomberg, I can't say. But I know that they do sort of like when you have teams that are working on similar areas of the product, they will have like cross communications, and then you'll have like one larger team, and within that larger team there'll be smaller teams, sort of thing. So it's like kind of like cells within cells, sort of thing, and then it sort of goes up like that. Yeah, exactly. I think that's how it works.
Cool. What do you think the drawbacks of a system like that are then?
Well, I think definitely where what I saw, it was very well optimized for that very specific product.
Okay.
So in maybe another situation using a different product, it probably wouldn't work as well, because it's specifically optimized for Bloomberg and the terminal and their products and their clients, is what I noticed, because obviously each team can talk about exactly what they're doing, but they also know about the rest of the teams.
Would it be fair to say that it's well, this is kind of obvious now I'm saying it, but the suitability of that system is totally also dependent on the people that are there as well. And it's... I imagine that they probably also have... This is... I've just looked it up. It's been around... Well, it's been around for a while, and it's... As you said, it's one of the largest products of its kind in the world.
Yeah.
So they've clearly... They've grown up. The company, the teams have grown up with this method, and so... What am I trying to say? The suitability of that method it's much dependent on the people as it is the product as an ideal, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think I've quite made what I want to say clear there, but
okay, well, I'll go over that then. I'll say, so I think what you're trying to say is like, it needs people who have good team working skills, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of the main goal behind any company, is that any company is going to need people who are, well, as soon as you get more than one person, you're going to need good team working skills. I think more so definitely with a company like that, because when you go through all the application processes for any of these financial companies who are hiring software engineers, they will stick you in a group of people and say, right, you've never met these people before, you have no idea about them, work together to solve this problem. So teamwork is seen as an underlying necessity. I think it's even unspoken in that fact. But then again, you come back to the bigger picture and you say, well, isn't teamwork a requirement for working at any company, because you are going to have to communicate what you've been working on, why you've been working on it, even in a small startup where there's only like 3 or 4 people, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
In that case,
sorry,
sure,
you
you can.
The last bit, just again.
Oh yeah. So it's teamwork is seen as an underlying necessity for any company, even like a 2 or 3 person startup, because you're going to need, even then, you're going to need to go to your investors and people who are funding you and say, right, I've built this system for this reason, it's taken me this long, what do you think, sort of thing. Yeah.
Why is I get the teamwork being required for the whole system, but why I don't quite get how that specific example justifies the teamwork being needed. But
I guess that's more communication skills. Yeah.
What was the point you were trying to get out of there?
I think more what I was trying to point out was the fact that you are going to have to go, at the end of the day, you are going to have to go to someone else in your team and try and teach them what it is you've done. But then now that I look back, now that I think about it, that's actually going to be more underlying communication skills than team working skills. But I think they also mesh well together anyway. If you have good communication skills, it's quite likely you probably have good team working skills.
Yeah.
That's not definitive, but you probably do.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I just want to ask you, how did that go for you?
That was good. That felt pretty good, yeah.
What did you enjoy?
It was just fun chatting, sort of thing.
Yeah,
no, I kind of liked explaining my thoughts around like the whole sort of the structuring of like, the bureaucracy thing of like how my opinions on it was quite interesting, and the fact that I guess I'd never really thought about it before, but then you asked me and I was like, oh, actually, I do have thoughts on this.
Okay.
So yeah.
I enjoyed listening.
Well, thank you.
This I don't know. I've kind of in doing this, kind of being the cool podcast host or whatever, I've kind of realised the what do I want to say, the breadth of my undertaking now, and I've never done this before, so of course it feels unnatural, but thanks for being on the show, Kourosh.
Thank you for having me. It was great. Yeah.
Okay, Kourosh, how do I end something like this? I feel like we need closure.
Okay. Thank you for having me on your show.
No, Kourosh, I've got it. We need to do a meme review.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, we have to do a meme review. Let me send you some memes.
Okay.
What's a good meme subreddit?
The one with memes in the name?
No, that one's crap.
That was trash.
Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, this is a good one I saw before. I'm gonna send you some maths memes because I know you're into that kind of stuff. Crusher, please review this meme.
Okay. I really like the drawing style. It's very similar to my drawing style. Although mine is a lot less complicated because I just draw straight stick figures. The text is I'm not too keen on the text, mostly because it's just kind of there, and it's like the font is off. I don't like that font. Is that what font is that? Is that Calibri?
I don't know. It's hard to tell these days.
Yeah, I know. My favorite font is Fira Code.
Oh yeah, Fira Code is good.
Fira Code is the best font.
At the moment, I'm in love with DM Mono. It was designed for the Google DeepMind team. It's pretty nice.
Oh.
Gosh, maybe this is what we need to do.
That
We
is
need
quite
to do
nice.
a font review. It's
Font
got,
review. Oh my god, yeah.
Something looks off. I like that the like the circles and the O's or like the G's. It's probably, I think there's a name for those bodies of round letters. They're kind of perfect circles, but they're kind of not, and it kind of looks. Yeah, it's just pretty cool.
Yeah, that does look really nice.
And it's got a monospace variant as well, so it's what more can you ask? Or what more can you ask? You can ask for ligatures, which Fira Code has, but
I love my ligatures.
ligatures are beautiful, man.
I know. When you get like 3 equals in a row, it's great.
Okay, let me just send you one more meme. Okay, yeah, this is a good meme. I did the exact same thing in a physics practice paper the other day.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. And then you just go to the closest one, and then it turns out it was like 76 or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? How? I thought I did it right. Oh dear. That is very.
I find often I lose negatives, like especially when I'm integrating.
Mm-hmm.
I lose negative, like often I'll accidentally lose a negative sign halfway through my working, and then I have to go. At the end, I get like the right answer but wrong sign, and I have to go back and track it down. Otherwise, I incur the wrath of Mr. Lawrence. Okay, one more meme for you, and then I think that will have to be it. This is also a classic error.
Oh dear. That's why you always check.
Yeah.
You always check.
For these past, I just did a set of mocks. I carry one calculators in radians and one calculators in degrees now.
I see.
And, do not cross the streams.
Yeah, that's smart. Actually, I never considered that as an actual option. I mean, yes, that's smart though. Although I always manage to figure. I think I've definitely managed to do it like 3 times
And once in my most recent exams, I did the question and was like, oh, damn, was that right? And I've had to go do the whole question again because I did it in degrees, not radians.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely an unfortunate problem to have.
Cool. Okay. I'm calling that it then.
Cool.
Thanks again, Kourosh.
Thank you for having me.
Remember to put your plus C.
Oh dear.
See you around, dude.
See you around.